Today, we're diving into something really profound, a massive shift in human consciousness. You could almost call it a manifesto for a future that's led not by force, but by feeling. We're talking about a kind of strength that, for centuries, has been dismissed as a weakness, and it is about to change absolutely everything.
And this quote it nails it, doesn't it? We're living in this pivotal moment where the old rules of domination and top-down control are starting to feel really brittle, really hollow, and you can feel something new rising up to take its place, something built on connection. So, to really get a handle on the future that's coming, we first have to take a hard look at the world that's on its way out, a world where being sensitive was often seen as a liability, something to be punished.
For literally centuries, the world is run on a script that rewarded these Machiavellian traits. You know the ones. Coldness was mistaken for strength. Power games were just how you got ahead. Charm was often just a mask for control. And on the flip side, things like genuine sensitivity, raw authenticity, and deep empathy, well, those were treated like weaknesses, like bugs in the system, not features. And here's the thing. This was not an accident. The system itself was fundamentally designed to reward narcissistic traits and to mock empathy. It created this bizarre reality where millions of deeply feeling, caring people were led to believe that something was fundamentally wrong with them for being too sensitive. But then something really powerful started to change. Thanks to the internet, all these complex psychological ideas are no longer locked up in some dusty academic library. We started to build a shared language. And when you can finally put a name to something like gaslighting, you immediately start to strip it of its power.
And it's the exact same thing with understanding trauma bonding. Look, this isn't just a trend or some social media jargon. This is a collective awakening. This new vocabulary is literally a tool for liberation. It lets people see the invisible chains that held them, and for the first time, they can actually begin to break them.
Which brings us to the revolution itself. But it's not the kind you see in movies with loud clashes and explosions. It's something much, much deeper. It's a quiet but incredibly powerful unveiling of consciousness. This is happening because, for maybe the first time in human history, millions of people who are waking up are sharing what they've learned on a global scale. People are finally learning to name what hurt them, to set real boundaries, and to just walk away from those old, toxic power games.
And you can actually see how it works, almost like a formula. First, a few brave survivors speak out. Then, that knowledge just spreads like wildfire online. Pretty soon, it's like a collective radar gets switched on, and we can all start to spot the unhealthy patterns. And with every story shared, the old paradigm of secrecy and shame gets a little bit weaker.
And this right here, this reframes everything. Seriously, think about it. All those videos, those posts, those conversations, it's not just content. It's the delivery mechanism for a massive software update to our collective human operating system. And as our collective consciousness gets that update, the old empire is built on cold strategy and cruelty start to crack. The masks of manipulation and narcissism are slipping faster than ever before. Why? Because the things that used to thrive in the shadows simply can't survive in this new level of light. This brings us right to the heart of the manifesto. This is the core of it all, the complete, total redefinition of what it means to be a sensitive person. Okay, if you only take one thing away from this, let it be this. For anyone who has ever felt too sensitive for this world, please hear this loud and clear. Your sensitivity was never ever the problem. The problem was a world that didn't know how to handle your gift. And this is where the entire script just gets flipped on its head. For so long, the old story was that being sensitive made you a helpless target. Well, the new script reveals the truth. Your sensitivity, when it's trained and honored, makes you an unstoppable leader. That very quality is what this disconnected, overwhelmed planet is starving for. But this power doesn't just happen. It requires training. It's about learning to create and defend your boundaries like they're sacred. It's about honoring your intuition, not as some vague hunch, but as a precision-tuned guidance system. It's about mastering your own nervous system so no one can throw you off balance. And most importantly, it means choosing yourself over and over again without apology. This is such a powerful call to action. It's basically saying, hey, stop being an extra in someone else's chaotic movie. It's an invitation to finally step into the main character role of your own life story, with your inner compass tuned to truth as your guide. So if empaths are building this new world, this new Earth, what does it actually look like? What kind of leadership is going to emerge from this incredible shift?
And this is the ultimate reframe. Empaths are not just the survivors of the old, broken world. No way. They are the architects and the leaders of the new one. They are here to build. And this new leadership requires a completely new definition of power. True power isn't about domination. It's not about control. It's about nervous system regulation. It's the ability to stay grounded in your truth and compassion when everyone else is spinning out into their ego. It's the ability to truly listen, to attune to others, and to create spaces where people feel safe enough to be their real selves.
This really is the fundamental choice we have in front of us. Are we going to keep trying to build a world based on external control? Or are we finally ready to build one based on internal feeling, on coherence, on heart? The future belongs to those who can feel, not just those who can control.
So we'll leave you with this final thought, which is really more of an invitation. For anyone who has spent years asking, what's wrong with me? This whole shift is your chance to ask a much better question. The healing that you do for yourself, the boundaries you finally set, the authenticity you reclaim, that's not just for you. That is the very blueprint for the new world. So, what will you create?